Hello everyone, welcome to the Dice Cast, our Dungeons & Dragons YouTube series. I am S.A.N, and with me I have...
Yes, man.
When we last left off, Aquans Jonas had been informed by Anatole, an individual in the service of a member of the town council, of a group of local robberies that have been taking place that seemed to defy expectation. On their way to Wendell's, they encountered a centaur who was part of a gang of 3 individuals, which included a young woman and an armored figure, which eventually turned out to be some sort of construct. In short order, they discovered that in the following day, they found out that Wendell had been robbed after this individual had failed to convince him into whatever business deal she had intended. Immediately suspecting the group of 3 that they had encountered, they're attempting to strong-arm Wendell. Our 2 young wizards set out to find their base of operations and see the return of his property. They managed to find it after a brief encounter with the centaur. Made it down into the ruined structure below, and dealt with the mechanical bodyguard that as it turns out, young wizard had in her possession as a security measure. When they came upon her, instead, much to their surprise, through a teleportation circle on the floor, stepped a skeletal figure in fine robes, matching the description of what would pass for a lich, despite the fact that what followed was very much un-lich-like behavior. Non-lethally disabling the young woman, the so-called lich took her through the teleportation circle, and Aquans and Jonas were able to return all of Wendell's belongings to him, as well as the remainder of the stolen merchandise to the town guard, which would be sorted out in due course. And that's what happened last time.
Okay.
Alright. So, we pick up the following day after those events. We wake up in the Whippoorwill. We have at least it's going to take us a few more days. We're going to have a few days of basically just montage downtime here because, well, I still have to figure out how to open that door completely, and it's going to take a few more checks for that. And there's a few other things we want to do.
Yes. One of the things I want to do is try and put together one more of the potions of heroism.
Okay. You can roll for that now if you want.
Oh, great. Alright, let's see how much luck I burn through this time. Not enough, right?
Not enough. That's the total?
Yeah.
Alright, now DC is 20.
Alright, so that's 1 luck point. That was a natural 1.
Luck again?
Luck again. 20. Just roll the 14.
Alright.
Plus 6. Success.
Is it plus 6?
Oh, what is it?
It's a medicine.
This isn't intelligence.
This is medicine.
Oh, that's only plus
3.
Oh. Last luck point.
I actually can help here if you want.
Yeah, 17 kicking around.
I do. I do have a 17 portent if you want to use that.
I think it's kind of cheating at this point. You know, I've already started all this, right?
Well, you just... Alright, you don't want to use it then? Roll then. It's up to
I
you.
don't think it's...
Okay, then roll. Last luck point.
That'd be a failure.
That would be a failure. Alright. You fail to make a potion of heroism, and you are down some of the resources you need for that. You're down some dragon lily nectar and one of the rare mushrooms you need to make them.
Yeah, I'm gonna scratch that off. it's
Yeah. Anyway, since you didn't want the 17, I'm going to use that for my check, for my intelligence check to figure out the puzzle. So it comes to a total of 22.
not that I didn't want it. It just seemed kind of cheating to, you know, start using it after I've already rolled.
Fair enough. So I use the 17, which gives me a portent, which gives me a 22. So I'm closer to figuring out the door.
Right.
One other thing I do want to do is I have some ink and parchment left, so I'm going to copy enhance ability from your spellbook into mine, because I have exactly two. I have 2 uses of the ink and parchment we have left. So I'm going to copy that into my spellbook during the same day there, because it's only going to take 4 hours.
Alright.
Alright. Is there anything else you want to do on this first day, or do we just flash forward to the next one?
I want to go shopping, but it doesn't need to actually involve anything really. I need a new stone. I chucked mine at the centaur.
At the Centaur, yes. We can just retroactively say you went back and picked it up.
Yeah, but I want to get something slightly different, because I have something coming up in a couple levels, and I would like a nicer stone. So I want to go
Okay.
to...
What are you looking for? We'll just...
That's kind of like a... You know, stone about so big, and some sort of nice rock, like either a polished quartz or something along those lines, like someone uses as a paperweight.
Mhm.
Just something I want to have, just to see if I like it. If not, I'll be using it as a catapult ingredient.
Alright, so you want a...
Yeah, just rock.
Okay, so you want a quartz rock.
Yeah, quartz, amethyst, doesn't really matter. Nothing expensive, just something that looks nice.
Well, that's what I'm asking you. What do you want to look for? Because this is something you're looking for yourself, so...
Yeah, I'll go to a shop, and I'll use minor illusion or whatever to... Sorry, yeah, the cantrip there to
Yeah.
show roughly what I want. And see if they have anything in there.
Okay. They have something of for offer for you, if you want to buy that.
So it looks roughly like what I want.
Yep. Now I'm going to ask you to roll a charisma check to see how much they're going to charge you for this.
Hey, I saved the whole bloody... Was this one of the shops that I saved all their money for?
1 second. Yes. Roll at advantage.
Get it for free.
They're merchants.
Charisma, huh? It's a pair of 10s -1.
Okay, that's not too bad. This is going to run you 30 gold for this rock.
30 as a 30
Yes.
for a rock.
Well, this is a nice polished quartz crystal rock, basically, is what you found.
Holy crap.
It's a novelty item.
Yeah, an expensive novelty item.
We have plenty of gold.
That's not the point. The point is when you're robbed.
It was under 10.
I remind these people I saved them a whole pile of money because I just caught those crooks. Do you feel guilty at all?
No. They're merchants.
Last time I saved you guys, I was like grumbling and stomp out the door.
We have plenty of gold.
That's not the point.
So you now have a quartz rock about the size you want, about the weight you were expecting. It's quite fine. You're now suddenly very attached to it, I imagine.
I'm not using it as a catapult spell, I can tell you that right now.
Alright. So that's going to be the first day. I'm going to be using neither of these. Alright. So we come to the second day now.
Yeah.
So what would you like to do for this day? Because I'm going to be doing the third and final roll for this.
Alright.
You could attempt to make another potion of heroism if you want.
My last set that I have.
I have no portents to help you out this time, so they're quite bad.
Alright. Let's see if I can make one.
How much luck are you burning through here?
Oh, first roll's a 17.
Exactly what you need. So you have a second potion of heroism. Now,
All out of the supplies to make
Yes. 2 out of 3 success rate isn't bad for it was a DC 20.
I'm not gonna complain, but considering the number of rolls I did to get that, yeah, it's one of those things.
So,
I'll be chugging these as minor healing potions or anything.
no. So, because this is the second afterwards, so I would have prepared enhanceability for this morning because I wanted to give it a try it out for this.
I feel so stupid.
You had enhanceability prepared.
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to cast enhanceability on myself. I believe it's called Fox's Cunning for intelligence.
Oh, I feel so dumb because I prepared it for that reason too.
Everyone forgets things in Dungeons and Dragons. It's fine. Okay. Yeah. Well, a 19 plus 5 is more than enough. All right. So I managed to figure out the door puzzle then. And I say to you.
Alright, I just have to do one little thing here. Okay, I'm back.
You're back.
Alright,
Okay.
write something down.
Was it remember to use enhanceability for medicine checks in future?
Yeah, I think so. Anyway, that was just my stupidity. Alright, so
All right.
we have the answer to the
I
door.
have the solution for figuring out the door. Yes. Are we going there now? I ask, or
Well, as luck would have it, I did not use any luck points today. So I am fully prepared.
oh, wait 1 second. Right, I had to just note down that I used a second level spell for enhanceability.
Okay.
Because we are actually going there today. Well, I wouldn't mind getting that spell slot back, so we could go down and have lunch, as it were, basically. Take a short rest. You can use Arcane Recovery, and then we can head out.
Okay. I don't need to. I'll just have lunch.
Yep. So we go down. I'm going to use Arcane Recovery over the short rest, is what it's going to turn out to be. So,
Are we heading back the same way we did last time?
probably, but something catches your attention while we're in the Whippoorwill, basically common area, just at the table having our meal and having our short rest.
What's that?
Well, the door the Whippoorwill opens, and basically a figure in basically what amounts to a cloak with a hood that probably they thought makes them look inconspicuous, but because they're walking into a tavern in broad daylight in a dark cloak, probably makes them stand out even more.
Yes. Being really smart at trying to be disguised and just sticking out like a sore thumb.
Yes.
Only really smart people can do that.
Goes right up to the counter with the bar and is talking to Akra, the dragonborn tavern keeper.
Yep.
And
Can I hear what they're saying?
you can roll a perception check if you want.
They know I'm a wizard now. I have my owl pop open up so I can...
Okay, so you have advantage.
16.
16. Right, the first thing you hear before any words are spoken is the sound of a coin purse with coins in it hitting the bar there, basically. And you hear a voice says, we need to use the function room in back. There will be a few others coming. It says consideration for your discretion, and you hear the sound of like the coin purse being slid across the table basically across the top of the bar towards Accra.
Okay, we've had some interactions with peoples in town.
Yes.
Do I recognize the voice?
You do not recognize the voice.
No.
About average height and build.
So, what? Does it look like a cloak? They're trying to disguise themselves. I know. I didn't roll that high, but man, woman.
Based on the voice, you think man, but
Hard to tell.
hard to tell.
Okay.
After that, you see this figure go around and basically, you know that there are rooms on the floor here which basically the staff use, and there's a function room which is apparently used, which is mostly used presumably for meetings, and you can see this figure heading towards that room, back towards that area. Accra is escorting this individual there.
Is this worth burning a second level spell slot to eavesdrop? Interesting.
Alright, while you're thinking about that...
Gotta wait for more people to show up.
Yeah. Because you did hear them say there's going to be a few others.
Yep.
Accra comes back. And a few moments later, another similarly clad figure comes in.
They all belong to the same club anyway.
The main difference is this person also seems to be wearing almost like a black silk robe underneath the cloak, which is slightly long. The hem of the cloak isn't long enough to conceal it, and you can see the robe trails of it. And goes right up to the bar and has a brief conversation with Accra before it's also escorted back that way.
Okay, at this point, I'm gonna go sit at the bar.
You're going to go sit at the bar, okay?
Okay, go sit there. There's whatever drink I had for lunch.
Yeah. So Accra comes back, and almost immediately at this point, a third figure comes in. This one is far shorter than the other two.
Okay.
But is dressed less conspicuously, you notice.
What, no black cloak?
Well, they do have a cloak, but it's not as obvious. It just looks more like a cloak used for traveling. It does have a hood up. But this figure is rather short. You estimate their height of only about 3 feet, around there.
Halfling or dwarf? Halfling.
You could roll another perception check if you want to try to determine species.
Ow. Conspicuously staring at this person. 21.
21. Neither, actually. As you see, there's a hint of a almost reptilian snout with a reddish scale color to it, and you see the hands are they just have little sharp claws coming out of them. You think this individual is a kobold. We've encountered them before, so you actually you just pick up some of the telltale signs. You think this might be a kobold coming through.
Doesn't that smell?
No, kobolds don't smell, do they? They're reptiles. I don't know.
The ones that we came across weren't exactly pleasant.
No.
Well, I know kobolds because,
Yes.
we had issues with them.
Yes, you're fairly certain with that roll that this is a kobold in disguise. And doing a far better job about disguising themselves than the previous two clandestine people coming through have.
So, also goes up to Accra and...
Yep, and is escorted that way.
Was the kobold speaking common?
Yes.
Right. I'm going to try and remember what they sounded like.
Okay, you tried to remember what they... Okay, you tried to...
Just in case it comes up.
Okay. And... Are you still waiting?
Yeah, they seem to be coming in rather close together now, so I'll wait a little bit, like a minute or two.
Okay, so a minute or two... So 2 minutes goes by as you wait there. No one else seems to be showing up. As far as, at least, no one has shown up in the 2 minutes you waited.
Accra's behind the bar.
Yep.
I ask her, is this usual? Yep.
She says, Yeah, sometimes individuals want to, interested parties want to use the functions room just to hold their own meetings away from prying eyes.
Oh, okay. Do you know this group?
She says, cannot really say that I do.
Oh, okay. Is there... I guess I really shouldn't ask her. Never mind.
Okay. Are you going
No one showed up, huh?
No. Basically, you can wait a bit more if you feel like it.
I'm just going to go back to the table with you.
Okay.
To fill you in on what I've heard. And I definitely want to find out what's going on in that meeting.
Well, we have a few options for that, I say.
Yes. Burning a second level spell slot is probably the easiest.
No, the easiest, I say, is I've had this for quite some time now. I pull out the potion of clairvoyance that I bought at Wendell's.
Oh, you want to use that on this?
It seems like the perfect situation for it.
If you like.
People are getting a better idea about what our familiars are. So
Yeah, invisible does give some advantages.
invisibility does, but we are also planning on going down into an underground temple.
Yeah, that's the only reason why I don't want to burn too many stones.
Well, I think this is the easiest way, I say.
Well, that reminds me, before we get, because we are going to go down, I am going to give you one of the potions of heroism
Okay.
to hang on to, because we may need it down there.
Alright.
How many potions of healing do you have?
1. We burned through a fair bit last time.
Alright, so I didn't get a chance to do that. So the other thing I'm going to do before you drink your potion is I am going to pull off one of the patches off my cloak.
Yep.
And it's one of the patches for
The 4
potions.
Yeah, the 4 vials of healing potion.
So I'm going to pull one off,
Yeah.
and I'm going to give you 2 of them.
Okay. So that brings me up to 3. Thank you. And mark down that you've removed one of those patches.
Just it.
Yeah. There's still another one on there, though.
I have lots of patches on this thing.
I meant another patch for 4 healing potions.
Yeah. Okay.
Alright. And then I'm going to drink the potion of clairvoyance.
So that should work quite well, because you know where the room is.
Yeah. So as per the spell, I create an invisible sensor in an area I know of, which is fine. I know exactly where it is. So I have to choose seeing or hearing.
Can you switch between it with the potion?
You can. It works the same way as the spell. Yeah.
Okay, well, have a look, and then have a listen.
Okay.
Because some people may not have come into the door.
Okay. I'm going to be the only one seeing this, so I'm going to have to relate it to you. Because, yeah.
That's fine.
Alright, so there are still only 3 of them in there.
Yep.
There's a human,
Yep.
a half-elf,
Okay.
and a kobold
Right.
in there.
What are they talking about?
Well, I have to switch. I'm going to switch to hearing now, so I'm going to lose sight on them. All right. So I switched to hearing. Yeah. That's fine. I'm familiar enough with the spell, so I don't need to refer to that. All right. So I switched to hearing to listen to the conversation.
Alright.
All right. First I say, near as I can tell, the human seems to be an informant of some sort, or someone who's hiring these 2 for a job.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Alright. They're mentioning that Therion, that the wizard on the council.
Okay.
Apparently these 2 are both former apprentices of his, who he still employs on occasion.
The kobold and the half-elf?
Yes. The human's the one with talking to them. And apparently he wants them to Therion wants them to fulfill a service for him. And they're being tasked with basically exploring that subterranean temple that we are going to be heading into ourselves.
Competition! Alright,
They are being tasked with finding an arcanum, which is one of those tetrahedrons that we found notes on that is reportedly supposed to be in this temple.
Right.
And at this point I hear, okay, something was just placed on the table in there, I think. Like some sort of container. We're going to just switch back to sight for a second. Right. So I do that, and okay, there are two things being pulled out from basically just like almost like a satchel or a bag, basically.
Yeah.
One looks like an amulet that is almost like a pendant, but has like a mirror on it.
Okay.
And the other looks vaguely familiar. It looks like it's a skull. It looks like a dragon skull, but it's pitch black and it's carved with runes. And I say it looks quite similar to that thing Vapula used to summon those Keiko demon pawns when we fought her, but it looks different.
Okay. So they're getting equipment to help them in their trial?
I guess so. I'm going to switch back to hearing to try and listen in again.
Right.
I think I missed the explanation, unfortunately, what those two things do, though. While I was, all right. Basically, it's just they're basically accepting the offer, and they're going to be richly rewarded if they succeed.
Okay.
And that seems to be wrapping up the meeting in there.
Alright.
Yeah.
Listen for now. I'll watch them here.
Okay, I'm going to keep. So you want me to keep listening in then?
Yeah, just in case something else that you. Sometimes when people bring up our meeting, they'll say, "Oh yeah, by the way, this, and this." You know, just in case there might be some add-ons.
Okay.
It looks like we need to either get there quickly ourselves or tail these people. How's our standing with that particular council member? I don't know. We haven't really had much dealings.
We haven't had much dealings with him directly. He knows of us. We know that he was one of the two that was interested in that grave robbing problem we dealt with. He was somewhat irritated from basically that we solved it because he was planning to find some way of taking advantage of the situation. He was either directly involved with it or was just someone who was.
So this is not necessarily a clean-cut individual. It has a bit of a shady aspect to it.
Yes.
Alright. Keep that in mind.
Alright, so they exit, and I said the only other thing I heard in that conversation is they were actually being instructed to be careful about the two of us, because apparently it's come to Therion's attention that we also have an interest in this underground temple.
Okay, as they're leaving, do they look in our direction?
No, they do not. That just might mean that they know not to look in the direction of people they're supposed to be keeping an eye on.
Alright. I want to do an insight check on their body language. Are they individuals who are really trying not to look in a specific direction, or are they more casual? Does this look forced?
Roll an insight check.
Never mind.
How did you roll?
Insight is wisdom?
Yes.
9.
Not very good, no. It's difficult to tell with two individuals you've never met before. Yeah. I said the only other thing that was mentioned is Aldrich, that knight from Lyria you were played chess with that one time.
Yep.
He was also mentioned as being investigating this subject. Apparently it's come to his attention that an arcana might be in this facility as well, and apparently the knights are tasked with finding those.
Interesting. Well, him I trust a little bit more than these guys.
As far as we know, the Lyrians are either A, responsible for the existence of these things, or B, at the very least, interested in studying them. Because we found...
These are old,
As far as we know, well, that research facility that we found predated the fall of civilization. And as far as we know, this is another pre-fall building. And we just found notes written on it, so that's as far as we know so far.
Okay. Alright. So
We still have no idea what these things do.
everyone seems to be interested in them, so...
Including the Court of the Seven so far.
Yeah, I think keeping them out of... Well, I don't really trust that council member. Having him with one of these is not a good idea. Certainly don't want the Court of the Seven to end up with one. And the others, well, we'll see.
So, it looks like it was probably a good idea that we decided to go in today.
Yeah, so once they leave the building,
Yeah, they've left.
okay, I'm going to have my owl pop in on top of the building.
Yep.
And the instructions are to follow them. And at a reasonable height, just to see. I want to see which direction they're going. If they're heading directly there now, we got to get going.
Well, they are heading towards where the Platinum Dragon Inn was. But then again, from where we are, the rest of town is in that direction.
So they're heading this way.
They're heading down the main road there, yes. They're heading, I think this is east, we said, right? Down that way? Towards the river?
Yes. North is this way.
Yeah, that's north, that's south. So yeah, they're heading down the east towards the town square.
Right. My instructions are for her to follow them up high.
Mm-hmm.
And once they pass here, I think it's pretty obvious that they're heading there immediately.
Okay, they seem to be maintaining
All
this...
our stuff is ready, right?
Sorry?
I mean, I have everything ready. Do you need anything to prepare?
Nope.
Alright.
I just wanted to finish this rest, basically, is all. We did. Which we have.
That's done.
Yep.
You might as well just get up anyway.
Okay. So we're going to follow them then?
Basically, the only way that I think I can keep track of them, considering how far back we're going to be, is just through my owl. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to actually be tailing them.
Okay. So near as we can tell, they've not deviated from the course. Cheryl has not informed you of that.
Alright.
Did you ask your owl to inform you if they entered the area where the Platinum Dragon Inn was?
No.
No, you did not. Okay, so yeah, that's as far as we know.
We're going to be within 120 feet of my owl.
Yeah.
So I'm going to periodically put some hand on your shoulder and have a look.
Okay, they seem to be heading directly there.
Alright, let's pick up the pace.
Okay. We also know that, as you can see through your owl's eyes, that the area is still technically cordoned off and under the watch of the city watch,
Yeah.
because this is still a precarious building.
Yeah, it's dangerous. Okay.
However, if they are in the service of one of the council members, they may actually have some writ or pass that will let them through. Yeah, you never know.
True enough. Okay. How far ahead of us are they?
Well, basically, we are about halfway there, and they're at the...
Okay, so we're still a fair part.
Yeah, I assume we are actually trying to keep some distance from them. Unless we're turning this into a fight right now.
I don't think having a fight in the middle of town is a good idea.
We have avoided it so far.
Well, let's try and keep that trend. So,
Okay.
Al's going to keep an eye on them.
Yep, sure. Owl keeps an eye on them.
Are they going? Do they actually interact with the City Watch at all?
No, they do not. Instead, they basically just sneak in without being noticed.
Okay.
So by the time we get there, they've already gone in, and you've obviously lost sight of them because your owl will have difficulty flying inside this building that is collapsed in itself.
Once they go in, I was going to have her pop out.
Yeah.
I'm not going to worry about it for now. Okay. When we get there, any members of the City Watch that I recognize?
Roll a perception check.
13.
Not really. We haven't really tried to ingratiate ourselves too much with the watch here.
Yeah, we've done an awful lot of work.
Yes, we have, but we just we aren't on first name basis with them or anything. We haven't.
Yeah, I suppose we haven't brought them morning coffees or anything.
No,
Right.
it's mostly just we've been doing jobs around town that sometimes involves us dealing with them. So we have definitely a positive relationship with them at the moment, but that's about it.
Okay. I'm gonna walk up right to one of them.
All right, this should be amusing.
I say, well, you know who we are. We have business. We need to check out some of the structure here. City Council wants us to see if make sure it's safe and that there's going to be any more collapses. Just let us pass.
All right, well, this is definitely going to be. It's probably going to be deception, in all honesty.
Sure.
I mean, it isn't the truth, so yeah, it's going to be a deception check. You can roll it at advantage because this is the sort of thing we've been.
Does our reputation help that?
Yes, that you're getting an advantage on this roll, basically.
Alright. Well, I have no skills.
No, you have a penalty to this, actually.
Yeah. Six.
Not re-rolling with luck?
Good question.
You did hear me say advantage, right? Not disadvantage. So, those are both really low rolls, I guess.
Four.
Okay.
No.
No, you're not? Okay then, let's see what the reaction is. That is... No, that's not cocked. That's actually... Nope, okay. Well, the watchtower says, well, then, if you are on official business, you will be able to provide proof of that, written proof of that from the council.
This is a verbal thing they did. Sorry, don't have anything written down. Well, you can go take it up with your watch officer if you want, and they can come talk to us.
I'm going to let you roll roll a persuasion check to that, because
We're going in, so we have to. It's our job.
okay, you can roll a persuasion check for this.
Yeah, this will go really well.
I think I'll still let you have an advantage because, again, our reputation is in favor for this.
So I can ignore the natural one then? Cool.
Oh, good grief, that would have been a natural 1 minus 1. Yes, you do get advantage for this. I think it's still the same thing.
Brings up a whole 5.
Some days you roll quite well on persuasion. Not today, as it turns out.
Not today.
I'm sorry, sir, but I must insist on written proof of this agreement, of you being hired for this contract. This is an ongoing investigation and dangerous site.
Well, not all council members give written permission because they don't necessarily want to be, known about it. So,
He's adamant at this point, though, basically, from those rolls. It's like,
yeah.
yeah. So, but I assume you're going to come away from that, basically, with that conversation.
Alright.
Yeah.
I guess I have to.
Yeah. I say, well, there are only 2 of them. I say, I do have sleep prepared.
That is a thought.
Mm-hmm.
The odds of getting both of them with sleep, though, are pretty low.
Or we could attempt to sneak in the back way like the other 2 did. On the other hand,
I mean,
stealth isn't exactly our forte.
true. And, I mean, I can go invisible and go in.
Yeah, that helps one of us.
That's not gonna help. Well, let's try sneaking in.
Okay, you want to try... Alright, I guess sleep's the backup.
If this goes south, yeah.
Do I want to... No, I want to try and save my spell slots. We're going to have a lot in there.
Well, that's what I was thinking of. Otherwise, this is just so simple. But you can start burning through all your resources before you even get in the door.
Oh! I have inspiration. From in the last session. I could use that to gain advantage on this roll. Should I do that? Oh, sure, why not? I'm going to use inspiration to roll at advantage.
Well, unfortunately, it's going to be a huge waste.
I might make it in.
Yeah.
Okay. So the total I have is 10.
Beats my natural one.
That's the second natural one you've rolled.
Yeah.
Alright.
It's not going well.
Hang on. What's a guard's passive perception?
That'd be better than one.
Yes, it is, but 12, yeah. We are both spotted. So, I'm doing quite well. You're doing quite well until you step on, basically, there's still some... There were trees here originally. There's still some burnt and fallen twigs and branches. And you step on one that has enough damage done to it that it snaps easily underfoot, but it's still fresh enough to make a loud crunching noise as you do so. Which the guards clearly hear, and they say, "What was that noise?" And you think they can hear it in your... And you can basically picture them from the other side of the building coming around to investigate. Run in?
Yep.
Okay. Well, we don't have to roll for that. We were already there. Almost.
Yep.
So we run in. That is not quiet, though. So I'm going to... Yeah, alright, this is going to be a perception check on their part to see if they can spot us going in or not, or they're just going to... We'll see.
Okay, hold on a sec. Before you do that,
Okay.
I am going to use a spell stored on my
Oh, okay. On your ring?
ring.
Is this the first use of your ring of spell storing?
Yeah. It's not really going to be useful in here, probably.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to surround us in an image of a horse.
A horse. So,
Silent.
this is a silent image, I presume, yes. Okay.
The horse just wandered in, just milling about, just to block the view of us as we get in.
Okay, so we are not being... So the image of the horse is behind us as we go in. Okay. Well, the guard you were talking to rolled a total of 9 on his perception check, so that's not enough to spot us as we go in. It is enough, clearly, to spot the illusion of your horse. And I'm now going to see if he's intelligent enough to see through an illusion. What's your DC?
15.
Alright, put the stack block away. Let's, Oh boy. Oh boy. That was close.
That's just 14.
Oh, it's 14? Okay. Well, he had disadvantage on the check anyway because he's not familiar with magic. So one of the rolls was a 17.
Right.
So he has a +0 intelligence, but he had disadvantage on the check. The other result was a 6. That was close. Had you been dealing with someone more familiar with magic than just a town guard, that would have been...
Well,
Yes, it's probably going to fail, but it hasn't failed yet.
There we go.
Yes, I assume we are heading with some speed at this point.
Oh yeah.
Alright.
There's a horse there, so any noise I'm hoping they're just going to associate with a horse.
Alright. So we make it our...
Since we're out of sight,
Yep.
I'm going to have the horse run off.
Okay. There is one more thing you're going to have to do, and that is I need a dexterity check from both of us.
Oh, because we're...
Because we are moving quite quickly through a building which is even in worse shape than when we were here last time.
Alright. Oh, fuck. Oh, I finally got a reasonable number.
What did you roll?
Dex?
What did you roll?
Pure dex?
Yes, it's just dexterity.
20 total.
I rolled a 6 total. So I do lose my footing.
Yep.
I don't take any damage, but it does cause some noise. I'm just going to... Alright, let's see if...
It'll slow us down.
I have to get back up, basically. That's all.
Could I, with my 20, catch you and both of us go along together without slowing us down too much?
Sure, yeah. You do hear hear the guard say, "Wait, what was that?" There's no noise. I think it came from inside the building. So clearly he heard the noise. But that's about it.
Building sunlight.
Yeah.
Horse runs off. Goes around a
Your
corner.
illusion runs off. Not sure. Well, let's see if either of them are going to chase it. So convincing. So the one guard who has been doing quite well up until this point decides now is a good time to go chasing this illusory horse. His partner, on the other hand, is just standing there like, wait, where are you going? We have to... we have a job to do. We're on guard duty. Why are you chasing a horse? And that's... Sometimes the dice tell their own story.
Once the horse goes around the corner, I'm just going to stop.
I assume once it leaves the spell... I think once it leaves out of the range of the spell, it just ends anyway.
Yeah, that too.
But it's fine. You've seriously confused one member of the watch. Sorry, 2 members of the watch in theory. Though one of the confusion is coming from his partner at this point.
Yeah, I just didn't want to. I mean, even still, I blew a spell, but this. I don't think it's going to be really useful here, so.
I actually was considering, I was like, okay, I could cast Fog Cloud and cover the entrance, but it's fine. You're...
Well, if we want to burn spell slots, there's a whole pile of stuff
Yeah.
I could do.
No, that works out well. Alright.
Yeah.
So we make it down into the basement chamber where the tunnel is leading into the underground cavern.
Yeah. Can you get your cat out?
I can, yes.
Because. Well, I know you say kobolds don't smell, but when you fought them, they have a distinct odor, especially something a cat can keep.
Well, yes. I think my cat actually does know what the scent of kobolds is. I think there was something early on in our campaign where I tried to have my cat try to recognize the smell.
Yeah, and it couldn't initially, but we
Yeah.
eventually ran into enough of them.
Yeah.
Not a
Yeah.
problem.
So we're in the underground complex now.
Alright. Take a brief second and listen.
We're in the underground complex now. It's the next image.
Oh, sorry, my bad. One second. Thank you, right over. There we go. Alright.
Alright, we see a familiar sight as we come down into this tunnel.
Yep. Do we see our adversaries? Our competition?
You can roll a perception check down here. It's not at disadvantage because there is a faint... There is some light down here.
Perception 13.
You don't see them, but we did give them a considerable amount of time to move past through here.
True. Now, up here is a whole pile of traps.
Yes, that area there has considerable number of glyphs of warding, as we remember. We haven't been there yet. We're still in the tunnel. We're just looking ahead.
We're over the other side.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we hear the sound of the river rushing by, which because we remember from last time.
Yeah, almost drowned in it.
With your perception check of 13, you do hear another. Well, it's a familiar sound from what you heard last time. A loud splash in that. The...
Excellent. Someone else fell in the water.
Yes. All right. Then you hear some heavy, basically, just like a lot of water moving. Someone is swimming with considerable force, presumably to get out of the water.
Okay.
And you think you think from what you just heard that someone fell in and then probably did manage to swim to the other side.
Can you see them?
No, we cannot. There's only dim light down here. We can only see about to the tunnel's entrance. And remember, it's not a...
Well, kobolds have night vision or dark vision.
Yes, so do half-elves.
So
Yeah.
they're at a disadvantage when it comes to that.
Yeah.
So they can see about 60 feet, and probably further than that compared to ball. Anyway, nothing we can do about it.
No.
Let's get on.
Yeah, so we can basically almost see to the mouth of this tunnel. Basically, it's about from...
Yeah, so we can see about here.
Yes, because it goes back a ways into the basement, and we are basically just at the entrance to this natural tunnel in here. It goes about 30 feet ahead before it opens up.
Okay.
Alright,
See.
so we're proceeding. Are we casting any light cantrips?
That was targetus.
Okay.
There's enough light to see, right?
Yes, there is dim light, so we can see basically we are able to, once we're in here, there's less light, but there's still enough of it that we can see basically about 15-20 feet in front of us.
That'll have to do for now.
Yeah.
The cat has night vision.
Yes, the cat. My cat is out. Yes, you asked her to be out. You wanted her to make a perception check for smell, I believe, for the kobold.
Oh yeah, just perception check. So yeah.
Okay, so keen smell. Okay, yep, we'll take the higher of those, and my cat's perception is okay. 19 total. Yes, she smells the scent of a kobold coming through here recently. And the smell is in no surprise coming in the direction across the river. Off we go. Okay. So basically, it doesn't take us too long to come to the bridge. So from this point, the light is quite dim, so we can only just barely see to the opposite side. We know there's the river going by, which you fell in, and someone else has just fallen in.
Do I see signs of like what footprints or anything around us, or did they fall in and got out on the other side?
You can roll. You can roll a survival check if you want to try and find out. Look for tracks.
Never mind.
I think you have survival, don't you?
Yeah.
No. You don't see any wet footprints on this side. That might mean they may have gone down the other side, but you do not know because, well, with that roll.
At some point, we are going to have to make a light here, but
Yes, we are. At some point. All right. The first matter of business before we pick which one of the two paths into this complex that we used last time, we need to find someone getting across here.
yeah.
Last time, it didn't work out quite so well. I could misty step across and attempt to make the rope bridge again.
Well, I got a couple of options.
Yep. I could actually...
I have one rowboat.
You have a rowboat?
I have a rowboat.
Do you want to use that here?
No.
No, because... yeah. We're probably never getting it out of here ever. Another opportunity is I actually am a pretty strong swimmer. I could try to swim across and make it to that side and then tie the rope across. And then you can cross that way if you want.
Well, either that or get one of the 10-foot poles and try to pull both across.
Yes, the only way that gets us through is without making a check is I Misty Step across, and even then you're still going to have to make one.
Bring a second little spell slot.
Yep, that is the question. That's what we did last time. I could just swim across.
Alright. I have a 50-foot rope. I'll give that to you.
So I assume we're tying it to this side first.
Yeah, you swim across.
Okay.
Tie it on the other side. And then, still going to be a dex check, but it might be a lower DC at least.
Well, not for me. It's going to be Constitution to cross this, probably. Natural 20. I have no issue doing this.
No problem at all.
Then again, this is.
How much are we getting the 20s?
Then again, this is literally my natural habitat for all intents and purposes. All right, I cross the river and I tie the rope to the opposite side of the bridge.
All right, so you swing onto it.
Yep, you're gonna rappel over basically with overhand like that. All right.
You still gotta make a check.
You still have to make a check, yes.
Oop, back. 9.
9?
I'm
Okay.
rolling really bad.
You're rolling. Yes, you have been rolling bad. Oh, it's a low 10. Well, it's not terrible, but you do lose basically your hand slips, and you have to hang on to your legs. So basically, your legs slip. You're hanging onto the rope now, and your legs are trailing in the water. I'm going to give you one chance to try and climb back up and continue across.
Oh, there we go. 21.
21. All right, after that brief issue, you manage to swing your legs back up. They still get somewhat soaked in the water, which is definitely cold. And you manage to rappel all the way across.
I'm less soaked than you are.
Yes, but it's like, I'm fine.
Yeah, you're always soaked, right?
Yes, it's my natural state of being. Should we just leave this rope here?
Spell slot thing is really annoying.
Yep. I could use prestidigitation to dry you if you find it really annoying.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay, I'll cast prestidigitation and dry you off. Should we leave this rope tied to this bridge?
Yep.
Okay, so we're gonna leave this here.
Over here.
Now we're over here.
Do I hear anything? I'll bring my owl out and have a good look. 22.
Alright. You hear the distant sounds of like almost something giving a cry of pain, from what you think.
They found a trap.
Actually, it's not. Where the 22, you can tell the direction it's coming from. It's not coming from the temple. It's coming from the cavern we went through last time.
The one we just came out of.
No.
Oh, up there.
Yes, the other.
So we're up here. It's coming from here.
Yes, it's coming from that direction. You do remember that there were some creatures living in there last time.
Yeah, but that's where I expected them to be going anyway. I didn't think they were going to try getting in through here.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be suicide.
That's what you hear.
Alright. On we go.
So, which way are we going in? This is the question now.
Well, we know how to get to
Yes.
the door.
We know that there is a secret door
Yeah.
on the opposite end of that little tunnel, which we found the Gricks in last time with their nest. We were able to sneak through last time with ease.
That's going to go so well today.
Yes. Yes, yes, I know, because we were able to go in and out last time without any trouble at all, so now it has to go badly.
Yeah. Well, I think we should go that way because...
Yes, because the other way has a number of glyphs of warding, which are quite nasty. We already saw one of them, and it killed someone.
I could cast Unseen Servant a whole pile of times, but that's just ridiculous.
Yes.
So, let's go down the tunnel.
Is now the time to start casting. Is now the time to start using spells, because obviously we didn't stealth too well last time. I could cast Enhance Ability on myself and use Cat's Grace to gain advantage on the stealth check that's coming up.
Let's just go in and see what's happening in there. Because someone screamed, so...
Well, something screamed. May not have been a person.
So, there may not even be any more bricks, or there may not be any more competition, one or the other.
Okay.
see what happens. So we'll quietly enter the tunnel and head towards where their lair was.
Alright. So we don't have any difficulty climbing up the small... It's only about a 10-foot climb, so we can just hoist ourselves up there with relative ease.
Yep.
Alright. So we are going to go through... So we go into the tunnel. We don't hear anything this time. It's all as quiet now as we go forward. There is no light in here, by the way. At this point, we are in pitch blackness.
No, there's nothing for it at this point.
Okay.
Cast,
Yep.
pull my staff out,
Yep.
and cast light on the little metal knob on the end.
Yeah. I take out my staff and some of the phosphorescent moss, which I sprinkle on there, and it grows into a blue-green algae, which gives off bioluminescent light. Okay. And we now have light to see with. And
light to be seen.
And light to be seen by, because it's bright light.
Yeah. Alright, proceed.
But we proceed. This didn't seem to trouble the Gricks last time. We don't even know if they have eyes.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about them, more worried about our competition. So, once we get towards the Gricks' lair, we'll still be moving quietly.
Yep. So we come into their nest, and, well, we're not going to worry about sneaking past them.
No, they did.
Because they have been cut down, quite literally. Both of them, yep.
I'm going to examine the area.
Okay.
Is there any evidence of non-Gricks damage, like as in the assailants got cut or something, like blood?
Roll an investigation check, and I'll assist you with that. 19. There is a small amount of blood that does not correspond to the Gricks. It is the same bright red blood that most humanoids have.
So they didn't get through this unscratched.
No. One of the Gricks, remember they have these basically like tentacles with almost like these hooked talons on the end. One of them has some blood on that. So it's not a serious wound. And from that roll, you can tell that, yes, these Gricks have been literally cut to pieces.
Yeah. Their competition. Well, proceed.
Alright. So, we proceed with relative ease without needing to make stealth checks this time as we come to, well, we see the large stone at the end of this tunnel, which is the secret door into the temple proper.
Is it open or closed?
It is open. I say, given the amount of effort they've put into this so far, we may not need to worry about the door.
Do you think the council member has solved the puzzle?
Or they may have been able to figure it out on their own. We were able to.
3 days.
Yes. We had other things to do. Who knows? But they've been quite efficient so far.
Peek around the door.
Right, there is light in here because there are ever-burning torches that give off that blue flame in this area, and there's several of them. Right, so we cancel our light cantrips.
And look around the door.
Yeah, we look.
See our buddies.
So you see the familiar sight of the large stairs leading up to the door,
Yep.
which is where we found the cipher puzzle on the door last time. And there are indeed 2 people in here. But they are not the 2 we were expecting.
Okay. What do I see?
Well, you see 2 tall humanoids. Both of them are armed and armored. Well, at least armed. One of them you recognize both of them because we've seen them around the Whippoorwill before. One is Aldrich, the White Knight of from Lyria.
Yep.
And the other is the Air Genasi, whom you've not that we've seen around the Whippoorwill before. in the furs and armed with both scimitars, but we've not spoken to this individual before.
Right.
But they both have weapons drawn, and it's quite clear that they probably were the ones that were responsible for cutting down the Grick.
Okay.
So, I say, not just one group.
Have your cat smell for kobold.
My cat has not picked up any scent of them. So either they haven't come through here yet, or they've somehow masked their scent somehow.
Okay.
There were 2 ways in here. They may have considered the traps less of a problem.
We would have heard the explosions of what's going on.
But we don't know what spells they contain. They're not all explosive. One of them was.
Guarantee that all those are damaging. They don't want people in here.
Yes, but they may have been able to bypass them.
Yes. But that door, I see the back end of it.
Yes, we see that door. Yes, it's currently closed.
So either they're hiding in shadows around here, they're good quality thieves,
Yep.
or they're invisible. But there's no way that they're not here.
No.
We don't have a smell. Or your cat has a sinus infection.
Or they found some way of masking their scent. It's not unheard of.
No, it's not unheard of.
Anyway, we have the door up ahead, and we have 2 individuals, one of whom we're on friendly terms with, relatively. How do we proceed here?
Play the game of chess with them.
Yes, but we aren't hostile towards one another.
No. Yes.
They haven't just opened the door. We note, as we've been sitting here looking and just conversing to ourselves, they've not just gone through yet, so they haven't opened the door yet themselves. I say...
Are they in conversation, or are they just staring at this thing?
They seem to be having a hushed conversation at the moment. Okay. I say, it is possible... No, this is another possibility we haven't considered, I say. That it's possible that there's some way to close... The door in the Lyrian research facility could be closed from the other side as well. So it's possible that the 2 that we've pursued here may have already gone through.
So your cat has a cold again.
It's possible. I say,
I'm gonna have my owl. I know she doesn't have advantage on scent, but she's better at it than I am.
okay.
Natural 20. Finally. Has the kobold been through here?
Yes, the kobold has been through here.
So they've gone through the door, or they're hidden in the room.
One of the 2. You can just... The scent is faint. You might have... we might have been right about them having some method of masking their scent.
I'm going to have my owl on my shoulder.
Yes.
Good mistake here. I'm going to walk into the room and say, "Hi guys, how's it going?"
Okay.
But my owl is going to be concentrating on the smell, and we're going to track that smell and see if it goes through the door.
Okay. Alright, so this is... Well, this is going to be a check for your owl. And it's not going to be perception. This is going to be survival.
Yeah.
However, your owl has a good scent. Your owl has a good grasp on the scent at this point. This is a difficult check anyway. I think I will let your owl have advantage on this.
I can't use my survival skills.
It is going to be your owl rolling this though. Yes. So I don't think your owl doesn't have survival.
Woodland creature. No, it's not a woodland creature. It's a fey creature. That's only an 11.
+1. owls have a +1 to wisdom.
Oh, that's a 9.
Oh, it's even worse. Did you roll with advantage?
Oh, yeah.
This is,
I had my 1 natural 20. After that, it's all gonna be crap.
there was that one session you nearly matched me. You rolled 10 natural 20s during the session.
Not gonna happen today.
Not, it's hard to tell through in this room to follow it. Since your owl has picked it up, but that's about it.
That's fine.
All right, so you step out and you basically hailed them for all intents and purposes,
Hi, guys.
and they both turn to look down. Both seem somewhat surprised to see you. Aldrich you recognize seems to have a it's just curiosity on his face more than anything else. The other one is the air genasi is looking a little bit warier, as if like we haven't had much interaction with him, so we don't actually know what he's like. So he's a little bit more cautious, whereas Aldrich just like, I wonder what he's doing here. Basically, is what the expression you get from him.
I'm gonna calmly walk up the stairs.
Oh, by the way, you also realize that Vapula's corpse is still down here. No one cleared it out of the way.
Oh, that's gonna stink by now. No wonder I can't smell the cobalt. Alright. I'm gonna go around her body.
It's basically near the top of the stairs as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, she's been down here for nearly 4 days by this point.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Say, well, I'm not exactly down here for a rematch in chess, but, I thought you might need a little help.
And he says, Aldrich says, what is your interest in this, he says, building. He says,
Well, I have a fairly good idea of what's behind this door. And I thought it would be a good idea to keep it out of nefarious hands.
he says, well, that is likewise our goal. You hear,
Are you aware of the 2 individuals that have gone through this door already?
they both look surprised at that. He says, Aldrich says, how? He says, even I'm having difficulty trying. Even I cannot open this door easily. And he says, here the other one, the air genasi speaks to this one. Says, yes, and you can read the language, and apparently that your own people created this facility. Says, Aldrich says, now, Howell. He says, I told you. He says, this is indeed my people did make this, and I can read the language, but this is still an ancient code. This is going to take going to take some time to decipher it.
Well, a half-elf and a kobold who have been equipped by one of the council members, we followed them here. And unless they're hiding somewhere and I haven't perceived them yet, actually, at that point, I want to have my owl have a look around. Perception check for 2 individuals in this room.
Roll.
17.
17? So Yarl's just looking around, just keeping watch. Spots me, obviously, from where I am down below. But that's it.
And I don't see them in here. Oh, hold on a second.
Alright, myself and Alice come up and join you.
Sorry, we just have to be cautious, Could have been disguised.
Aldrich speaks at this point and says, I assume the individual you're speaking of was Therion, who hired these two.
Yes.
Says, yes, he is an individual of interest to my organization. Says he's been known to use magic for some nefarious ends. I would very much prefer that this Arcanum, if indeed it still exists in this place, not fall into his hands.
He's a bad guy. We've been working against him for a long time, but we're aware of it. We have foiled a few of his plans, and he doesn't like us. Well, my good friend guys want to go in and we can continue this conversation after. We don't want to leave those people in there too long with access to, possibly acquiring this item.
He says, "You're proposing an alliance." That's what Howell speaks up and says that. The Air Genasi.
Yeah. Well, we don't know what's going to be in here. My goal, or our goal, I guess I should say, is to keep this out of bad people's hands.
Oh, you notice of the two of them, it looks like Howell was the one who was injured by the Grick.
Okay.
But he doesn't seem to be letting it bother him.
Well, the thing is, we can discuss, like, civilized people afterwards and decide what the fate of anything that's in here is, but safety in numbers.
Alright, I say. Well, then, just step aside. I'll walk you through the puzzle and then I'll show you how I came to the solution. Alright. So, this is as I said previously, these characters are letters, are not numbers. Sorry, they're not letters, they're numbers. I also discovered a few other things upon closer examination, that the message repeats a few times, so it's actually just basically just a series of numbers, and there's spacing clearly between some of them in groups. The other thing I noticed is that the numbers are, all of them are never go above 26. In fact, they didn't even go up that high. So this is a number cipher. This is literally a cipher where the numbers are meant to represent letters in a word. So I just point out. So the numbers are here. The first group you have 2 here is 14, 15. The next group is 2, 9, 8, 8, 5, 18. The next, after a space, next group is 20, 8, 1, 14. And then it goes 1 on its own. 16, 5, 2, 2, 12, 5. 2, 21, 20. 13, 25. 3, 12, 5, 19, 9, 14, 7. And continues. 3, 15, 22, 5, 18, 19. Next group is 20, 8, 5. Next one is 5, 14, 20, 9, 18, 5. And then it continues. 23, 15, 18, 12, 4. The next group is 23, 8, 1, 20. And the last group here of these three letters are... and the next one is 1, 13, and the last one is 9 on its own. Alright, so it took some effort. I was able to put that into basically just transpond those from numbers into letters. It's a riddle. No bigger than a pebble, but my closing covers the entire world. What am I? That's what the numbers translate to when it's put into letters and the proper spacing.
I'm not going to solve this, do I?
What? No. Do you have a guess of what it is, though?
No bigger than a pebble.
But my closing covers the entire world. What am I?
Closing.
That is the phrase that's used, yes. The answer is actually written right on there if you think about it. The answer is I, as in an eye. I say, however, the door didn't react to me saying that aloud, so I assume it has to be spoken in Celestial. To which Aldrich speaks out and says, I speak Celestial, however, so I can... So, and he says a single word in Celestial, which we assume the meaning to is I. And then the doors...
The doors are open. I want to say to everyone...
Yeah.
That magic item, the pendant...
Yes?
I
Okay, that's what you think the mirror pendant was they had.
Just the thought, and we need to, keep an eye on that because we might be spied upon.
All right. So the door is open. Do we go on through?
What do I see?
Well, there's just a faint bit of light there from the ever-burning torches behind us, illuminating a passage forward, and there is a door at the end of the corridor.
And it's dark in here?
Yes, there is no light in this room, but in the interior here.
Okay, I'll re-roll my cantrip.
So will I?
What do I see?
Like I said, it's just a short corridor going down, and there's a door. Okay, so yeah, like I said, this is the corridor you can see, and it's the opposite side of the door.
Well, I know they probably went through here, but I want to check for traps.
All right, roll an investigation check.
I'm gonna stop bothering.
Not going well?
Roll a 4 plus 6 is 10.
Okay. So, you don't see any traps.
I'm not going to worry too much about it because I assume that they came through here. Maybe I just stepped over the traps. Who knows?
Yep.
I'm going to lead with my staff,
Yep.
and we will head towards that door.
The three of us follow behind you. Are you going to open the door?
Anything on this door that I noticed?
No, not really. It's fairly plain.
I'm going to check the door over.
Okay.
18?
18. The door is not trapped, nor is it locked. You think it might have been opened recently, just looking down at the base of it. It looks like the dust has been disturbed somewhat. You think this door has been opened recently and then closed.
Take a step back and use mage hand to open it.
Okay. You open the door. Yep.
What do I see? Oh,
Well, you can see
that?
this chamber. Yes.
That is a glowing circle?
Well, there's indeed a circle inscribed on the floor here. There is also a low mist that hangs in the room.
Okay.
Also, as you peer in, you can see a door across the opposite side. And you can see a passageway going down each side. If you just glance down there towards this one on the right here, there's another door.
I'm not going in this room. Dude.
No, you're not?
No, I'm going to stand right here.
Okay, you're just like you're peering around and you can see that. Okay, so this is what you see so far.
There's a mist in the floor in this room, and these lines aren't keep glowing, right?
No, they're dormant, but it does look intact.
Do I recognize this? Is this like a teleportation circle?
You may roll an Arcana check. 20. This indeed is a teleportation circle. And it's not broken. It's dormant, so it's probably not, and there's a layer of dust over it, which means it probably hasn't been used in a considerable amount of time. But it's intact.
Do I think that mist is of an arcane nature?
It's hard to say. It's just like there's lingering mist in this chamber. With that roll, it probably is, but you have absolutely you're not sure. It's just like okay, there's mist here, which is unusual because
Because it hasn't been mist yet.
it has not been mist yet. No, usually there's mist where there is water and differences in temperature, that sort of thing. But this is an internal chamber. But the mist you don't recognize it as anything. It's not a fog cloud spell, obviously, because it's too diffuse.
Alright,
Okay.
I'm going to look up at the floor, and do I see... you mentioned dust already.
Yep.
I'm going to look for tracks of the two individuals. Have they been through here?
Okay, that would be survival.
Oh, finally a good number.
20. Natural?
No.
Okay, total. The mist is making it a little difficult to see, but you can find out. Yes, there is some disturbance. It looks like footprints coming through here.
Where do they go?
They go down to the left passage there.
So they go in and then they head this way?
That way, yes. They also see 3 distinct sets of footprints. Actually, wait, no. No, with that roll... No. Sorry, 5 distinct set of footprints.
So they may have... Are 3 of them not, like, boot footprints? Are they a different style of foot?
3 of them are like boot prints or shoes, basically. This is like standard things adventurers would wear. The other 2, one corresponds to what you imagine, basically what you remember what a kobold's footprint would look like in this dust, like kind of clawed foot. They don't really wear shoes. And then the 5th one is of a similar sort of kind of odd shape, kind of clawed feet of a clearly not humanoid, or sorry, basically like clearly distinctly different species. But larger than a kobold, and you're not quite sure what to make of that.
Well, they did have that skull that they could have crushed and summoned something.
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
So the 2 you're pretty sure that belong to the 2 we're following are heading down that passageway.
Wait.
The 2 other ones that have like shoes and boots, they're going the opposite direction. Yes. And the final set of footprints are everywhere.
They just went everywhere.
It's just like, yeah, it's just through here.
Okay.
All over the place.
I'm going to pass this information on.
Yep.
And then I'm going to go down here and have a look down this way.
Right?
Keep an eye for those tracks. Because obviously there's nowhere to go.
Mm-hmm.
Did they do something down there? Or they just looked and turned around?
Alright. So you go into the room, look around the corner. There is, as you can see, there a pile of rubble and rocks. Like, it looks like the passage that way is caved in.
Okay. What about the tracks?
Consider you roll so high on the tracks, you can see that they lead up to it.
And then?
That's it.
They go there and they stop?
Yes.
Is the pile of rubble real?
You want to try and disbelieve an illusion?
Yeah.
Okay. Roll an intelligence check, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, just intelligence.
That'd be a 15.
Okay, you stare at it trying to disbelieve an illusion. You eventually reach out and touch it, and it feels like solid stone.
Yeah.
It does look like there was a cave-in.
Recently? Like in the last few minutes kind of thing?
That's a fairly high roll. Recent enough. Probably not the last 5 minutes. You probably would have heard that. If based on that intelligence check and everything you've seen here, they did get a head start probably on us. So this may have been caved in before we got down here.
Alright, well, I'm not going to deal with that now.
The other possibility, there's one other possibility that comes to your mind. Vapula did cause an earthquake to open up down this chamber down here, into this passageway down here. It is possible that her spell caused damage to this place. It's unlikely, you think, given the amount of evidence and everything else, but it's possible.
I can't see it because I mean, the footprints go up to this
Yeah.
and then stop.
Oh, and by the way, at this point, I'm going to ask you for a perception check, and everyone else is going to roll one too.
15.
I have an 18. And Both are both, and Aldrich and Howell both rolled a natural 1.
Okay.
You and I get this is like, it's an odd feeling. It's like, it's that feeling where it's like you're being watched. That's that feeling you get.
Someone's hiding in the shadows kind of thing?
That's the feeling we're getting at the moment, yes.
I'm going to take my staff and
Both of us.
swing it in the whole area here. See if I hit anything.
You are going to, like a full swing around you. Like a spin attack almost.
Yeah, but, obviously not where we're standing on yet.
No, you actually are a bit further away from us at this point. Alright, so you're going to you can make an attack roll then.
Disadvantage because it's whatever it is I can't see.
Yeah, you're just basically swinging blind.
Never mind.
Okay. You swing your staff around you.
Alright.
I say, yeah, I get the feeling we're being watched. At this point, I just look across the way towards the north door. I'm like, that door. I say across there. I rolled just high and it says, it's ajar.
Alright, well, if they're here, head back to that door.
We're going to open that door?
No, listen at the door.
Okay, you were going to listen at the door? Okay, you can make a perception check. You have your arrow out still?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, at advantage then.
Natural 20.
That beats that roll. You can hear almost like some sort of low breathing or like almost like low growling, and you think there's something on the other side of this door. It doesn't sound anything remotely humanoid though.
I've seen lots of kobolds. We've fought lots of kobolds.
It does not sound like a kobold. No, this is something else. You think there's something else based on the fifth set of footprints you saw there? You think there is probably in that roll? You're like, I think we found something that is just possibly living down here. Okay.
Without saying anything, I'm going to turn around and indicate to people
To be quiet, yes.
something with horns.
Something with horns, oh no. Alright, so what are we doing then?
Once everyone's arrayed around this door, I'm going to step back with the group and then use Mage Hand to fling the door open.
Alright, you open the door.
Okay.
Catching by surprise the creature on the other side. The creature you see there, it was rolled quite well initially to hide from us, but we were able to found it eventually. Is not a pleasant looking creature.
Okay.
I could show you the image, but I don't think it's going to do any good.
Well, I can see. Ooh, lots of spikes.
Yes, it's got covered in spines. It's got 3 clawed feet. It's got about it for some reason has the proper number of fingers, also ending claws. It has a kind of skull-like face with a single bright green eye in the middle of it, and it's kind of got this black-gray hide to it with spikes covering it. And it is looking directly at us. Neither of us have ever seen a creature like this before.
You said it's surprised?
Yes, you managed to surprise it by opening the door. Are you going?
Firebolt it.
Okay, you're firebolting it. Roll an attack roll. There is just enough distance between the two of you for you're not in melee. So yeah.
Step back with the group.
Yeah, you did. You stepped back, so
25 to hit.
20 that hits, roll damage. And then we'll be rolling initiative.
7 points of fire damage.
7 points of fire damage. Okay.
Firebolt.
Yep.
I haven't cast that spell in a while.
Okay, yep. Roll initiative. Let's just get everything set up here because... Ah.
I have a 13.
Alright, I'm going to roll for the rest. Well, that beats my 6. Alright. Alright, what do our allies have? Okay, Aldrich has an 18, even with his dexterity penalty.
He has a dexterity penalty.
Yes, he does. Only -1, but...
What about our Aaron Janowski's friend?
Howl, that's my die's a little faded, has a 12. He's going right after you.
What about our scaling and or like
I think it's more like spines. Alright, and it rolled... a 10.
you're going last?
I am going last. Yeah, well, I only have a +1 to dexterity. All right, I should also going to write in our hit point totals here. You're at 36. I am at 33. It took 7 points of damage. You said.
Yep.
Okay. All right, and our allies. Yeah. He took damage though. There you go. Alright. So, you've managed to firebolt this thing and completely surprise it, and Aldrich, seeing this, draws his longsword, which you get a look at this time. It has runes inscribed from hilt to blade, along the blade as well. And he is going to rush up towards this thing, and he's going to make 2 attacks with his longsword because he's a high enough level fighter to do that. Okay. Oh boy,
That sounds
That-
encouraging.
he rolled the same number twice.
But you're looking, so it can't be a good number.
It's a 6 both times. Plus 7 to hit is only a 13. That doesn't hit this creature. He misses both swings. It's slippery and it's odd. It's kind of like it's about somewhere between 4 to 5 feet tall, so it's about medium height, but it's kind of squat down, so it's kind of like his swings go over its head. That's his turn. He's also in melee with it, but that's... He's a fighter. It's your turn.
Step back 30 feet.
So you're gonna... Okay, so that's back into the corridor we came from.
Yeah, well, actually, no, I'm gonna go 30 feet. Aldrich is here.
Aldrich is here. The door is now open.
I'm gonna step back to here.
Yeah.
That's not 30 feet away.
Yeah, and the creature is standing in the doorway.
Try firebolt again.
Roll another attack roll. Without advantage this time, though.
I didn't do advantage last time.
Oh, well, you hit either way.
I know.
You had some... Yeah, it was a surprise, so...
Not this time.
Not this time? What'd you roll?
8.
8! The firebolt collides with the door frame. Which is fortunately reinforced with metal, so it doesn't catch fire. Okay. Howl, seeing that this has both his scimitars drawn, is going to rush up, and basically now we have two quite large, quite muscular fighters blocking the door. Hey.
Yeah, don't roll any ones.
And he's going to make a pair of attacks with his scimitars.
Right.
One of which is not going to have his proficiency bonus because it's offhand. The downside is using 2 weapons. Alright, well the first one is an 18 even before I add it on his modifier, so that's a hit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a... Alright, that's a 6 on a d6 plus... Alright, he does 9 points of damage to this thing.
Oh, there you go.
That's a good blow. Resistances. The second one is a total of 10 without his proficiency bonus, so it's a miss. Still managed to actually hit it, which is nice.
Well, let's see what it can do.
So now we come to the creature's turn, which has been taken completely by... yeah, it's going to go for something nasty here. Oh, it didn't write that down. Is this... Okay, yeah. What is it going to do? It's going to... Yeah, it's getting me taken by surprise. It's going to use... It looks kind of like up at... I'm going to say Howl because he's the one who actually managed to hit it. And there's a flare in its green eye as it gazes up at him. And he needs to make a Constitution saving throw. Definitely within 30 feet of it. He's within 5 feet of it. Alright. Yeah, you're a barbarian, Howl. I think you're fine. That's a 4. Plus... Alright, he's got a good constitution, but what's his saving throw? Plus 7. 11. That's a failure. Okay, yep. Definitely had the advantage on rolling high above that, I thought, but it happens. Oh boy. Ooh, that isn't. One of those is low. Okay, that's yeah. The light flashes to him, and it's almost like you can watch as like energy or moisture or something and other things are being drawn from his body by this the gaze this creature inflicts upon him. And he takes 13 points of necrotic damage. No, it's 3d6, but it was 652. That was sort of as he pushes through the blow. Unlike our previous encounters with creatures who sometimes inflicted necrotic damage like this, the creature's injuries do not seem to heal themselves, so it wasn't draining life from him, it was just like forcing his body to deteriorate almost. Alright, so it's action. Is it gonna... Yeah, it's just gonna stay there for the moment. It doesn't want to get hit with 2 attacks of opportunity. Alright, so now it's my turn. Yay! I'm basically just standing a bit in front of you. I can just barely see this thing, so the good news is I don't have any attack spells that require attack rolls at this point, because if we did, this thing would definitely have cover of some sort between the 2 massive muscled fighters who are blocking the entire doorway. Sorry, blocking like 90% of the doorway at this point. So I'm going to take a page out of your book, and I think I'm just going to hit this thing with Frostbite. Because it's an aimed cantrip, and I don't have to worry about hitting them. Alright, it's going to roll a Constitution saving throw. It rolls a 19. Even before I add on its modifier for Constitution, it shrugs off my cantrip with ease, I'm afraid.
Alright.
So we're back to the top. Alright. Aldrich, looking to redeem himself, is going to take 2 more swings with his sword because... Okay, those are both better. They're also not the same number this time. Alright, that's 22 for the first hit. Alright, so it's a 2-handed swing with a longsword. It's a D10. Okay, wow. D10 plus 5. It's a 6 plus 5, so 11. That's a good swing for the first hit. Yeah, I did not like that. This creature is definitely past the point of being bloodied at this point. That blow takes it below it. The second swing is totals of 24, so that's even better. And that is a 10.
15 points of damage.
15 points. Those are 2 brutal swings to this creature. You hear it go, let it like, it's not enjoying this. It is basically, it was kind of hunched over before. Now it's almost basically like lying on the ground from the blows that that have been inflicted on it in the past round.
Yeah, it was like 42 hits.
It's not looking good. You can tell this creature is just hanging on here. Aldrich says, "Right, the beast is almost this beast is almost put down." Says, "Keep." It says, "Keep on it." He says, and that's his end of his turn. And we're up to you now.
Well, it seems like it's on last leg,
Yes.
and I don't want to risk missing this time, so I'm just going to magic missile it. 1 charge of the wand.
Okay, so you take out your other wand and hit it with magic missile.
Yeah. For 11 points of damage.
There was absolutely no point in you rolling. It had 3 hit points left. I wanted to hear what you roll. So 11 hit point. The missiles arc through the 90% of the doorway that is not blocked by our 2 companions at this point, and just come straight in and blast the creature right in the eye. All 3 of them. And its eye, well, pops, I guess is the correct term.
Good thing it has 2 big hulking guys between us and the goo.
It's not that much goo.
It's okay.
But yes, it is dead.
So do you see anything past that door?
Yes, you can move on to the next image. Alright. So, basically, now that the creature is dead, its corpse is lying right in the doorway there. But you can look into we'll move up to look into the room beyond, and there is a small antechamber here. It looks like might have been a laboratory at one point. There are bookshelves, there's a table with some broken alchemy equipment, and there's a chest in the corner.
Is that a book?
That is a book, yes, and so are the books on the shelves. Who knows if they're intact or not? From this distance, it's hard to tell.
Okay.
Are you curious at all about the creature that we just slaughtered?
Sure. Do I know anything about it? I'll do
You can roll an Arcana check if you want.
Arcana would be 22.
That is, it's high enough. It was a DC of 20 to learn about this creature. They're quite obscure. You remember faintly hearing about creatures, about aberrations that haunt, like, places of magical significance. They're called Nothics. And they are basically, the reason you've heard of this is they're actually a cautionary tale to wizards. Because a Nothic actually was originally a wizard, usually in the ancient tales, who were twisted by an ancient curse into the creature that we just saw there, and they maintain a sort of fascination with places of arcane learning and research. They're basically left by a dark curse behind by an ancient god whose name has effectively been passed into myth and legend and in the world that we're in at this point, past the point of the fall. But they have they possess some sort of strange magical qualities, including the ability to cause flesh to rot by a gaze weapon, and the ability to literally pull secrets from other people's minds is another ability that they have. And they tend to basically haunt these sorts of locations, like abandoned research facilities or magical academies. So one being here isn't that strange.
Okay. I was actually thinking that this was going to be from that skull they had, but apparently not.
No, this just looks like a creature that was living here. I mean, they don't tend to... You also know from that this creature probably may not have been aggressive towards us if we hadn't attacked it. They are evil because they are the results of a twisted curse, and they are basically warped beyond the point of having any sense of right or wrong. But they tend to prefer basically just sticking to the shadows, stalking along, and just and trying to learn, and just basically watching people, and occasionally, yes, stealing secrets from them.
Alright, well, I look at it in the sense that we release this poor individual from that curse.
Yes, because, well, who knows how long they've been in this state.
Yeah.
Alright,
we
so...
have a mission here, but I do want to do a quick search.
We can do the quick search of this room if you want.
25.
25, okay.
And I'm hoping that my bad luck for the day is over.
Well, that's a good roll. Alright. Alright, most of the books and lab equipment in here are ruined, I'm afraid. However, the book, and there is an inkwell there, which actually seems to be intact. Which is... That's an inkwell, yeah. And that book is not technically a book, as you realize. It's actually... It's more like a binder, almost. It's basically just like a leather cover, and there's paper inside. Blank paper. Based on the location here, you think this might be ink and paper used for transcribing spells.
Okay, I'll take those for the moment.
Alright, so the inkwell is not the usual, is quite deep, so it's not like the usual ones that we just get the smaller ones that we tend to buy from shops, from Wendell.
Yeah.
So you can write down that there are 6 pages of parchment and about 4 doses of ink used for transcribing spells in there.
Cool.
Yeah. They're not quite full, but they have enchanted qualities to them, which is why they have probably persisted this long in this place. And there's a chest in the corner as well.
Mage hand?
You want to use Mage Hand for it? Okay. It's locked.
I look at our burly fighter types. Any of them have an ability to open things without, smashing it?
I have the ability to do that, I say. I did not prepare a knock this morning, but I do have a scroll of it.
I don't think we're going to waste knock on this at the moment. We have things we need to do.
Okay, we can...
I do have thieves picks.
You do have thieves tools if you want.
I'm not proficient in it, but...
Did you want... I say... We haven't run into any traps so far, but this is this is something that...
Yeah, I'm going to check for traps.
Okay.
8.
8? You don't think it's trapped?
11 to pick the lock.
You hear a click.
I dive out of the way.
I'm afraid it's a bit too late for that. You see, as your hands are just like moving, there's out from the actual lock itself, a needle extends out 3 inches right into your hand.
No saving throw?
It's coming up. You take a point of piercing damage.
No, good God, it's poison.
And now I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
High enough level yet to have proficiency in that, so...
No. Yeah, you definitely do take the point of piercing damage.
Would a 12 make it?
12?
Yeah.
Total? No, that's a fail.
I will
Want to reroll that?
try and be lucky about this.
Go ahead. One way or another, you take damage, so I'm rolling this. Well,
I failed again.
do you want to roll any more luck?
No, I need luck.
Okay. You take 7 points of poison damage, which is not very good, admittedly, considering it was 2d10. But you also feel this poison coursing through your bloodstream as it takes hold in your system, and you are poisoned, I'm afraid. Yeah. So, it's been a while since we used poison, so I'm just going to refresh myself on what it does. Disadvantage, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's on attack rolls. And disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks.
Yeah.
Ah! Oh, and to add insult to injury, you didn't manage to open the chest with that roll either.
I'm pissed at this point, so I'm gonna take out my hammer and my spike and I'm just gonna smash the lock.
Make an attack roll. Make an attack. This isn't gonna be too hard. It's a 5 to hit this thing.
Does it matter to you?
It's your strength, basically. 2! You fail to hit it. 8! That hits! I'll just say, you actually managed to break it. It's just a lock. No, that's right. You're making those attack rolls a disadvantage. You break the lock on the chest.
What's in this thing?
Alright, and you open the lid.